Hello and welcome back to the Three-Digit World Cup 2026. We are here with our first matchup of the finals weekend. It is Canada, who suffered a 7-0 loss against the United States in the semifinals, versus Australia, who went on a tear in the losers bracket, going 7-1 up in both of their matches last weekend against both the Philippines and France. I'm Dio, and here to cast this match between Canada and Australia is one from the UK, the parent country for both of these nations, Bubbleman. How's it going, man?
I didn't even think of it like that. That's fair enough. I mean, that's a good link between those two and the UK. It's looking good. It's looking great. I'm glad to be back here for another match. And the last match I casted, the only other match I casted, went to tiebreaker. So maybe this one could too. We'll see. I'm looking forward to it, though. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this match. Just looking at some of the stats from last week and how well both of these teams did, Australia is one of actually the top performers in the semifinals weekend. They had the second highest average team score across the entire weekend, second only to the United States, of course. They did very, very well last week. So this is a very, very scary team. The order for average score is the United States, Australia, South Korea in the semifinals. So looking more and more like the US World Cup as we go on here in 3WC, as now we get Canada versus Australia again here in the Three-Digit World Cup. Canada, meanwhile, was down at number 7 of 12. But they were facing off against a United States who the week prior in quarterfinals topped the leaderboards by 500K average score above everyone else. So I think there may have been a little bit of defeatism going into that match. That's my copium for the average score from Canada coming into this match versus Australia.
Yeah, no, I can see it. It's like a Magnus Carlsen effect.
Yeah. The old USA OWC effect back in play, perhaps, in the Three-Digit World Cup this year. And even looking at the scores for both of these teams, most of the head-to-heads go the way of Australia, but there are a couple, like the 3mod1 from last week, that go the way of Canada, and there are a few that are pretty close as well. For example, that Hard Rock 1, Australia number 2 and 3, Canada number 4 on that map last week. So this should still look to be a pretty close match here in the finals.
Yeah, I'm really looking towards the top performers like Pala, Zintex. Is Sayo on the team? I feel like I remember that. It's nice to see that power couple back. You know what I mean? Zintex and Sayo did miss out, I think, on the Osu World Cup last year. So it's good that they get a running start this year, seemingly, in outperforming their seed already and pushing through to top 6, now face off against Canada. But historically, in the last few rounds, Canada's been playing really well too. It's, again, nice to see Peak opponent come back. Missed out on the team last year. Same with UK. And I mean, it's just the story of who hits the ground running faster, you know what I mean?
Both teams seemingly no problem with the ban strategy here to start things off, at least. Double low AR ban from Australia on the Nomad 5 and Hidden 3. They want nothing to do with Canada on low AR. Canada banning out the Nomad 2 and the DT3, so a double speed ban there from Canada, notably leaving up DT2, Arrival of Tears. That is the 300 BPM burst map. So there are still some options for speed and some options for tapping more generally. The Hard Rock 1, the Free Mod 2, a little bit more streamy, but a little bit more flow aim focused as well. Lag Train, another one of the higher BPM maps in the pool, though calling it tapping is a little suspect. This is a pretty good flow aim stream section at the start of Hard Rock 3 as well, so there are some more options there for Australia, but I think really the pocket pick DT2 might be one that's saved for later in a pool like this once both of those really pure speed maps are banned out. It is going to be the DT1 to start things off for Australia. Honestly, ever the same for this country. They are really, really solid on the DT aim once again. And that is honestly a little bit surprising, as, you know, talk about Zintex and Sayo as an old power duo, but really the duo this year for Australia has been Zintex and Paller. Paller last week playing 13 out of 16 maps. Zintex playing all 16 of them for Australia. Both of those players in the top 5 of performance scores, averaging 630k and 560k for Paller and Zintex respectively. These two have looked really, really good for Australia. And I am a little bit surprised because Paller not traditionally known as a DT high approach rate aim player, but has branched out a lot, has become a lot more well-rounded. So kind of expecting to just see those two in on basically everything for this Australian roster.
And Canada have to answer back with a roster of their own. So who could that be? I mean, the high rankers spring to mind straight away. Wanderio as well has been a consistent presence in tournaments. We'll see who it is.
On paper, I would like to see Non-Cycle. I would like to see Wanderio. I would like to see either Pikapone or Ryuke for this roster. Non-Cycle in particular as a DT aim player is just fantastic. So I'm looking forward to seeing how well practiced he is on this pool, and if he's ready to go. And as you said, kind of hit the ground running for this match. Notably, this is a 14 UTC match. That means for our West Coast Canadians like Ryuke, it is currently 7 in the morning. So bit of a,
ouch,
I think, tell as to why they double banned Speed against this Australia roster. Let's see how warm this Canadian team is here for this morning match.
I mean, their anchor has always been Zuti, right? In the early morning matches, she wakes up at what, 5 a.m. So
yeah,
without that presence on the team to get you up, to get you motivated, I wonder, yeah, just how much momentum they can carry into this.
Only one early break so far for Rocks on the side of Australia, but not going to impact too much. And you can see this map is still a little bit bursty. There's not too much of it, and they're kind of isolated, so not going to be too much of a problem. 97 accuracy for Ryuke. Non-Cycle, they're finding a slider break. It looked like just a slight miss-aim on a downward jump. Rocks, though, to trade it out, so not going to be anything too big, and that's a three-way miss for Canada. Ryuke and CL both missing at the same time, and now it's just off to the races for Australia. Zintex and Sake in on this one and continuing the full combos. No problem here, just about a third of the way into the map.
It's a scary start for Canada. I mean, it is Australia's pick. They do have the home field advantage on this. Sake finds a miss, but it's still Zintex to hold the combo. Well picked, I guess, as Drox and Sake, not members that you would immediately call to mind as parts of their core, but putting up a great showing so far, easing them into the match maybe, a good tactic. If you know you can secure a point, if you know your opponents aren't great on a pick, easing some of your players in very early is a great way of going about it. But Dio, Canada are struggling.
You know what? I'm gonna give him a pass on this one. It's at best 10 a.m. for this team. So, you know, what wonderful 10 a.m. match. Wonderful 10 a.m. match here for Canada. We'll move past the double time and pick some slower maps. How about it? Yeah, they are certainly not having any easy times with this map. Non-Cycle finding yet another miss. CL having missed a couple of times. Best accuracy on the side of Canada is 96 for CL versus 97 on Sake, 99 for Zintex, who has finally dropped the FC as well, but still putting up 750k in a lobby filled with 300 and 400ks is going to be more than enough to carry this for Australia, no problem.
I have to say, I'm not too familiar with those two new names on Australia. Drox and Sake are new to me, but seemingly they've got game. S rank in the lobby from CL, but it's Zintex with the 800k to carry it for Australia. That's a big first point.
Yeah, and this is, I think, kind of an expected point for Australia. Even if you're not looking at the match time, if you're looking at the scores from last week on DT1, Australia with 2.2 million, Canada with 1.7 million, and almost the exact same rosters, actually. We just had Drox sub in for Paler compared to last week for Australia, but exact same roster here for Canada as compared to last week's DT1. So I think completely expected that they lose this one, and we should move along into potentially a better pick for Canada. Of course, that low AR hidden is no longer available, so no reading picks left for this team. But you do have some more low hidden focus picks, which are good for some of these members on the side of Canada as well. Got those free mods still open once again. Last week's free mod 1, a very good pick for Canada overall, considering the generally very low scores on that map. So I think you could go into something like the free mod 1 or free mod 4 this week, which are kind of the most similar picks to that free mod 1 from last week, and be pretty comfortable with it.
I mean, it's the polarizing picks that have been taken out, right? We've still got one each for each team. ET2 as well as free mod 3 is the low approach rate map. Oh, goodness me, it's Angel Salad. That's an early pick. Now, this is not a map that traditionally I would say gets picked early. This is such a toss-up when you're not eased into a match, when the nerves are still high. Everyone should know this map by now. It's one of the most infamous custom maps I think that has ever been made, or pooled. It's 7.8 stars now, when it used to be around about 7, which gives you a clue to the type of rhythm intensity that is inside of this. It's the perennial Grand Finals No Mod 6, which I guess we both know a lot about, considering we were the poolers.
Yeah, this
such a good map.
It's really such a good map, and this was one of the customs where Nathan asked to custom for the perennial, and I was like, yeah, sure, bro, go wild. And this is what he came up with.
And then went wild.
Yeah, bro went wild. And yeah, and now loved and everything. So this has been this map is very, very well known, as you said, and mostly through Nathan's efforts as well. Definitely credit a lot of that to him. It's, as you said, a very rhythmically intensive map. It's a very slider tech focused rhythm intensity map as well. There's a lot of sliders that don't behave as they properly should in this map as well.
I get that.
So
what I do have to say, though, is this is very tapping intense. You go for a rhythm tech map, and the rhythm is tapping. You've got to be tapping. And their bans were both tapping maps, 240 BPM, 260 BPM. It must be said it's stamina in favored. This more finger control. We'll see how the players deal with it. Early morning tapping maps. Babe, wake up. It's time for your early morning rhythm tech.
UK on the West Coast. Yes, honey. 7 o'clock in the morning playing this. And here we go into it. First to miss on the side, or actually second to miss on the side of Canada. Non-cycle with a very, very early drop at the start of the match. Capone also to trade out with Drox, but it's the two FCs for Paler and Zintex, the power duo here for Australia. Non-cycle's miss there was Bancho, still on the reverse choke. And the combos are building back up for Ryuke and Pikapone. Pikapone unfortunately finding a drop there, though, in non-cycle. I'm hoping that one was Bancho, but it doesn't look like it's going to be, as Paler and Zintex continue on with this two-way FC. And this is now looking a little rough, so long as those two full combos hold strong for Australia. Paler finally to find the drop. Drops non-cycle and Pikapone all missing in short order. Ryuke afterwards, it's a 5-way delayed wipe for the lobby, but Zintex is still holding strong on this combo on the FC, and say it ain't so for Canada, man. He's finally down, but not before accruing a nearly 200,000 score lead, over 200,000 score lead for Australia, and with 0 combo in the lobby, max team score 770k. That 225 score lead is massive.
It really is. Moving into the last third of the map, we've got no real combos on the board, so it's going to take a huge chain miss on Australia for Canada to be able to pull this back. Right now, it's not looking like it's going to happen, though. Paler, Zintex, Drox all holding strong, and UK to find the miss. Yes, honey, and, well, you can see the emaciated face that he's making at his screen. It's a couple of misses, though, but traded with a three-way. Australia. Drock's the one to bring the combo home. This map is unrelenting. This map does not let you get a break. It feels like it is so much longer than it is. But once you're through it, the dust settles. It's Australia ahead. 300,000 points. Good job. That's a break point. Feel proud of that one.
Yeah, it's a break point, and it's not particularly close either. Even the worst score on Australia from Drox is still better than the best score on Canada from Ryuke. Funny enough, the West Coaster with the best score on the team on this map. And then, of course, you have the 530K from Zintex, who is, 180,000 points up on the next best score in the lobby from Paler on his team. Like, it's just across the board wins for Australia on this map, every single player.
Full team gap, absolutely. And be honest, not to discount what he did on that, because it was a great play. They didn't even need Drogs. They were just that far ahead. It was a 2v3. What's next then? Where do you go if you're Australia? You've got the advantage. You've got the pick in hand. You can throw shades of OWC 2024 at Canada now with DT2 and secure a 3-point lead. Huge momentum swing. Or, given the break point, you can start to be a little bit more experimental. What would you do in this situation, Dio?
I mean, as Canada, I think I'm going back to anything that is very, very comfortable. Here for Australia, they're just going for the throat. I mean, you just throw out the DT2. Canada clearly not wanting to mess with you on tapping. You already won the DT1 no problem, so this DT2 is looking very, very good here for Australia. Not a lot of faith in a breakpoint on this one, but we'll see if they are able to pull it out. You do have, of course, some very good burst speed players on the side of Canada. CL once again, Ryuke once again. And I'm unsure who that third player is going to be. It's probably going to end up being non-cycle. I wouldn't be surprised if it is Peekapone instead, but it's probably going to end up being non-cycle. As for Australia, I mean, I think a pretty similar roster once again to what we saw on that DT1. Of course, they played DT2 twice last week. It was Paler, Zintex, and Xaver both times on that map. So those three end up going in. I don't think that's going to surprise anyone. Those were the three most common players for Australia.
Well, let's see who it is, who's warm. Especially for Canada, who's warm. Early morning sunlight on your fingers, I guess. Get some life into them. And it is the momentum, it has to be said, is firmly in Australia's favor. The DT1 even was quite tapping. You saw those 285 bursts in the middle of what was meant to be just a generic DT map. This is 300 though, and I mean, we've seen these players play it before. I'm pretty sure we've seen Zintex, we've seen Ryuke, we've seen Peekapone. But a year and a half on, how are they going to handle it? Also got to be said, the amount of mechanics that Australia have to play with, they are the mechanics country. I think if you call to mind any country in the game for just raw baseline aim and tapping, it's going to be Australia, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're talking about just baseline DT speed mechanics or speed and tapping mechanics in general, Australia is definitely the country that comes to mind. I think obviously the two main reasons for that are not here because they are not eligible for the 3-digit World Cup. But they're definitely a part of the reason. And I think there is something to be said for having a couple of top players that can inspire the rest of the field of your country, right? And clearly has had at least a little bit of an impact on the players in Australia. Looking up to the #1 player in the world and seeing what their team can do with him on it in the OS World Cup, I think can hopefully inspire some other players on the side of Australia Getting into things here, a couple of early breaks actually for Drox and Zintex to start things off. So for the first time this match, Canada with the score lead. Probably not going to last long, though. There's a miss from Raikai, and now score lead back over to the side of Australia early on in this map. Sake will trade out that miss from Raikai, so now no FCs for Australia, but Pikapone also finding the drop. CL finding the drop just afterwards on the under-aim there in the bottom left corner, and now it's Drox and Zintex on the reverse chokes, and oh man, it just keeps happening.
It does. It just keeps happening. It is the Zintex show right now. Gotta be said that Sake, the misses weren't even on the tapping. There's an S rank on that player. On the other side, it's just looking a little unfortunate, and the accuracy, it tells a story, Dio. The accuracy always tells the story on speed maps. You gotta hold your combo, but it's much easier to hold combo if you can tap fast enough to hit the map, and no trouble for Australia.
Yeah, it does seem like there's just a bit too much of a tapping gap. CL, kind of the most comfortable tapping player on the side of Canada for this, up at 96, but everybody else 94, 95 for both Raikai and Pikapone. Combos have evened out a little bit, but they're still vastly in favor of Australia, and Zintex on this reverse choke is doing some major work right now. The score lead is already up to nearly 400k. Zintex will finally find the break alongside Raikai and Pikapone, though. So even though that big combo is down, it's just one remaining for Canada, and it's a smaller combo than either Sake or Drox on the side of Australia. It's just a slaughter, man. There's really not much else to say. It's a 400,000 score lead, and even with that miss from Drox, there just does not seem to be a light at the end of the tunnel on this map for Canada. That said, it's easy to get a little doomer about... Okay, there's finally a miss for Sake. Unfortunate miss there, right at the end of that long stream. CL to hold. But unfortunately, I don't think there's enough time. It's a 425,000 score lead. I think it's basically over on this one. That said, even though it's 3-0, it is only one breakpoint. These are two early picks for Australia and the one first pick for Canada. In a best of 13, one breakpoint is very, very recoverable. This needs to be a strong pick for Canada to stop this momentum from going even further in Australia's favor.
As much as we said Australia are the mechanics team, I would also say Australia are the momentum team. These guys thrive off having that team vibe, and especially thrive off knowing they're winning. So giving them this early is terrifying. Canada have a strong mental, but how strong is it? How strong are they to withstand these three early points? They got to think of it just like you said, Dio. They got to shake it off, think, you know what, it's only one break point so far. That's all it is. Essentially, we're 1 point down. That's all.
Let's see if they can recover in that way. S rank for Sake, which is a very, very nice S rank, and one miss as well for Zintex on that one. So a couple of very good scores for those two. And now for Canada, I think you want to go into something very different. You've played 3 maps that are relatively tapping forward. Even the Nomad 4 has a lot of tapping baked into the rhythm. I feel like you want to go into something completely different. I'm looking at a free mod 1. I'm looking at a hidden 2 here. If you want to go into awkward hidden aim, that hidden 1 also exists. The Hard Rock pool, as long as you're not picking the Hard Rock 1, I think is pretty solid as well. But I want to see something just very different here for Canada as opposed to what we have seen so far. This also works. Nomad 3, it's the alt map, it's aim control, a little bit of flow aim, and really works as something completely different from what we have seen so far. Only 133 BPM on this map, and completely different from all of the maps that we have seen. So I like this pick for Canada. Get into something away from the speed maps and the tapping picks.
Yeah, this is an awesome left turn. This, all of the speeds is gone now. We had DT1, DT2, and I would have argued no mod 4. And now all of the tapping is gone. It's time to regain control, and what better way to do it than with essentially your specialist subject, right? They're still staring down Pala. They're still staring down Zintex. But I think this is a great pick. Exactly what their specialty is. A long map too as well, Dio, and the long maps always reset momentum just by virtue of them taking a long time to play. All that adrenaline from having won all of those picks, they can start to fade by the end of the 4-minute 30 length. So, very heads-up pick, this one.
I also like this one a lot. And you've got 3 players in here for Canada who are very well known and who are, I think, forming a lot of the core of the roster for this team. The one player not on here would be Wanderio, the other kind of core roster player for Canada. But you've got Non-Cycle in, who is a very, very good alt and aim control player, as well as just aim in general. So I think, your 2 most common players and best players in Ryuke and Pikapone, and then another very, very good alt player in Non-Cycle, I think is a great roster here for Canada. Let's see if they can put a point on the board with this second pick, stop the momentum from Australia, who at the start of this match, with 2 DT picks and a more tapping-focused rhythm tech pick, have been absolutely on fire. Paler, Zintex, and Sayo in for Australia here. Paler and Zintex, the power duo, and Sayo, a player whose potential is known to be extremely, extremely high in tournament settings. Non-Cycle with a very, very early slider break to start things off. Less than 200 combo down on a map this long is not going to matter too much, but it will give a very small score lead and combo lead over to Australia, and instantly matched by Paler on just a slight misaim there with that miss. So nothing too serious here at the start of the map.
Early doors, Theo. It's early doors. This is a slow burn map. It's going to be quite scrappy, if anything. And these guys have to last through it. Everyone hitting through the 1/3, but it's Sayo caught out straight afterwards, now traded by Ryuke. The lead is central enough so that either team can take this. Not anymore. Pikabone is gone. No more FCs. It's just Non-Cycle on the combo. But guess who? Knock knock, it's Zintex with an FC.
He can't keep getting away with it, man. He can't keep getting away with it. Surely at some point he finds a miss. It's Non-Cycle instead! And that's just all the combos down for Canada. It's the FC still going for Zintex. And Paler backing him up with the next highest combo in the lobby as well. Even if Zintex misses on this FC, it is still Paler holding the next best. So this is score lead accruing and slowly building for Australia. Even with the big combo lead they have, we are only a third of the way in, Bubbleman. It is a long map, as you said, 4.5 minutes, and this score lead is only 70k so far. But on long maps, 70k is still substantial, so it's going to take a little bit of time for this to come back if the combos ever flip in the favor of Canada.
Everyone comboing through. It's starting to get tight, Dio. We're halfway through. There is still an FC in the lobby. But like I said, it's a slow burn map. But the fire is raging. All through the lobby, we have high 3-digit combos. Lead is still growing for Australia. And remember, this was Canada's pick. This was their attempt at shifting the momentum to their side, and it's Sayo find a break again, matched by Non-Cycle, and Ryuke follows it up. It's 700 combo on Pikapone, and he has to hold now pretty much until the end of the map if he has any chance of moving this mountain over to his side, and it's not gonna happen. Dio, it's a 3-way break for Team Canada. And Australia are going so strong. They are ironclad right now.
I mean, what can you do? And this is kind of what I was talking about at the start of this match before we even got into the bans for either of these teams. Australia, last week in semifinals, across 2 matches, lost only 2 picks, were the second highest average team score of the weekend, second only to the United States. who are far and away the strongest team in this tournament by any and all metrics, right? In the winners finals, topping the average score leaderboard multiple weeks in a row now.
Question mark, Sayo.
Yeah, and, you know, Australia, to be able to put up an extremely close average team score performance with the United States, they had to play just like this last week as well. This is them showing, hey, last week was not just a pop-off weekend. It was not a fluke for us, as they continue to just demolish this pick of Canada's. They're going to go up 4-0. There is nothing Canada can do. I mean, what do you do against this? It's the 99% FC still going for Zintex coming into the end of the map. It's the 1500 combo reverse choke for Paller to back him up. Just one of those would have been enough to win this for Australia, no sweat. Instead, they get both, and it's an 870,000 score lead for Australia. The rest of the lobby is all mortals. You look at Sayo's score, and it's, I mean, kind of in the middle-ish of Canada's scores, right? Canada's scores are, I think, pretty normal for this map. Those are not bad scores. They're not particularly good either, but they're not bad scores on this map. This is a solid team score for Canada. It's just that Australia, man, Zintex and Paller, what are we doing?
There's always been the whisperings that Australia are a 5-man team. Australia are hyper carried by 1-2 players. But silence those rumors. Shut your mouth. This is Australia at their full strength, and they are only getting stronger over the years, over the months, over the weeks, Dio. That's 2 swift breakpoints and confident breakpoints, and what do you do? Now what? Cool, you tried the rhythm tech, that didn't work. The slided heavy rhythm tech, that no. You tried the Nomad 3, the alt tech, the aim control, cursor control, nope, didn't work. Not happening. What else is there? Hard Rock 1 maybe for Canada? Do you fire away with the... Is it Free Mod 3 that's the AR8 map?
Yeah, it would be the Free Mod 3, so you can potentially go that route next as well.
No, it's Australia picking it!
Rock 1. Yeah, this is a stream map. This is not an aim map. This is mostly a stream map.
The one thing we haven't seen so far, Dio, is flow aim, right? Is lower BPM flow aim, and that's why I suggested it for Canada, especially with people like Peekapone on the team. But it's Australia picking it. Like, what do you do? It's so intimidating, actually, staring down a team like this, knowing by seed you should win. This is your match, clearly your match. But these guys are just playing on another level in match, in tournament, in bracket. Oh, it's a treat. It's a real treat.
Let's see who comes in for this one. I wanna shout out something in chat. Ryuke saying, "Chillax, we ain't even got our own faker here right now." I think talking about Wanderio, so Canada potentially down a core team member for this match as well. Definitely makes it a little rough. And the funniest part about that is it's an 870k lead on the Nomad 3, and their lowest score was 370k on non-cycle. Even if Wanderio FC'd, they would not have won that map anyway. You go back to the DT2 Arrival of Tears, Wanderio would have needed to get over 700k on that. For context, Zintex got 665k as the top score, so probably not happening there. He would have needed to get well over 600k on the Nomad 4. Top score was 530k from Zintex, which is already ridiculous. And he would have needed to get 850k plus on DT1 in order to save them on that map. Top score was 813k, also from Zintex. Noticing a pattern here that Zintex seems to be top scoring every single map we've played. And so unfortunately, I think even if they had Wanderio, the score is still 4-0 in favor of Australia right now. Very likely, unless Wanderio is literally Jesus and FC's every single map he comes in for, the score is still 4-0. And even if he were Jesus, he still couldn't have saved them on the Nomad 3. So let's see if the team can save themselves here on this Hard Rock 1 pick for Australia. As you said, Dan, it's a little bit different from the maps that we've seen so far. This is very flowing focused, 200 BPM streams for pretty much the entire map. There's a little bit of aim consistency involved as well, and that so far has caught Australia off guard more than Canada. Drox and Xaver breaking versus just Ryuke breaking for Canada to match that break from Drox. So a little bit of a combo lead here early on for Canada. See if they can keep it.
Let me just say, firstly, I'm so glad that DJ Sharpnel has had a resurgence, and it's a real renaissance in the Osu community. And secondly, it's a traded miss on that bus slider from Drox and Ryuke. I'm not calling him that. I'm refuse. It's a double FC compared to the recovery for Xaver and the FC on Zintex. No, I lied. That's not a double FC anymore. Pikapone drops it. Now that recovery is looking mighty tasty. Xaver, his first map in the lobby. Oh dear.
Yeah, that double miss from CL is really rough for Canada, and he can't keep getting away with it. It's Zintex in the bottom right corner again on the FC, just keeps doing it on every single map. Xaver this time around also backing up with some huge combo instead of Paler this time. And now the lead, suddenly 50k in favor of Australia. A miss there on the long stream from Ryuke, and a miss afterwards. Just slider break there in the top left for CL. Another miss over aim on the triple there in the center of the screen. There goes Zintex, though. Okay, there is maybe a chance now, but Xaver's still holding the best combo in the lobby. It's just Pikapone on the side of Canada. Pikapone needs to hold for a little while. There needs to be some build-up for the rest of Canada, and potentially some other misses for the side of Australia. And maybe this is comebackable, but as of right now, with these repeated... Okay! It's doable now.
Oh, do you know what's really important is Ryuke needs to step up a little bit. He is lagging behind that 180k, 95%. The accuracy is not there. Combo maybe, however... That bar is shrinking. It's not anymore. It's not at all anymore. Pikapone is down. 99.3 is not going to save you. It's not going to pull your team through this mud. And like mud, the future is very unclear for Canada. Where do you go now? You've been beaten on flow aim. You've been beaten on tech. You've been beaten on speed.
I mean, when you're down 5-0 in a best of 13, it is effectively like you've already lost an entire match, right? This tournament starts out, what most tournaments start out, I think this one started at best of 11, but a lot of tournaments start out at best of 9, first to 5. You've effectively already lost that, right? You're down 5-0. So you need, as Canada, to 5-0 them back effectively just to get back to an even game state. You need to win an entire match immediately afterwards on the same pool versus the same players on completely different
on less of a pool, right?
Yeah. On completely unique maps compared to the ones you've just played. You don't get a second chance on this one anymore. And so now for Canada, I mean, where do you go really? You can go into Slider Tech. You can go into the Free Mod 4 in that regard. You can go into, they banned out the AR8 map. Maybe you break glass and pick the Free Mod 3, the only low AR map left in the pool, and hope that the Hard Rock Overmod for Australia is too much of a mechanical strain for them. Aside from that, I mean, a lot of the other stuff in this pool is relatively similar to what we have already seen. You can always go for the coin flip map in Nomad 1 as well. Just go for something aim focused. But honestly, the mechanics here for Australia have been on point all match long. This map was relatively close in comparison to a lot of the other ones. And even then, it's still an almost 200,000 score lead in favor of Australia. You have 550k from Zintex once again, top scoring the lobby on now 5 out of 5 maps.
Just have to sit with that one for a second. I mean, it's not often that you get such a standout performer in a lobby like this, full of some of the best players in the world. You have to, if you're Canada, you have to break glass. You have to go for the emergency pick. Keep yourself in this. And, you know... No, it's hidden 2. A custom hidden 2. I suppose...
going for this too.
I don't know.
I can understand it, but I would maybe have liked to see the free mod 3. But I can understand going for this one as well. It is 7.4 stars. It is a little bit higher in terms of the mechanic strain here. And it is low BPM flow aim. Right, 173 BPM, mostly flow aim. Some aim control during the flow sections in this as well. A little bit of slider tech during the flow aim sections as well as a 1/3 section a little later on into the map that is all that snappy aim control. This one is, I mean, Canada for a long time have been the hidden flow aim team, right? You go from a 200 BPM, effectively a 200 BPM stream map in the Hard Rock 1, which plays a little more like a traditional No Mod 2 than anything else, into a map that is truly about the flow aim and technical flow aim with hidden. So these should play as very different maps, whereas the last one was pretty much a purely mechanics-focused pick. This one is much less straightforward in how the flow plays and how the map presents.
I can hear the rhythm switch-ups in this. This could work out. The added difficulty of hidden onto what essentially is a smaller scale Angel Salad, right? I could see this working out. But they have to lock in like they've never locked in before against an on-form Australia team, the core 3, the core 2 even, Pala Zintex, and then Sayo. I'm terrified for the Canada, honestly, Dio. This is it's now or never, right?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is probably your last pick if you lose this, right? Australia go up 6-0, and then from there, even if you win Australia's next pick, a reverse sweep in a best of 13 is nigh unheard of, right? Possible, technically, but nigh unheard of, especially with how this match has gone so far. So this has to be the start of the comeback for Canada on this map. We have Rike, Raikai, and Pikapone in for Canada. Sayo, Paler, and Zintex once again in for Australia on this hidden 2. No early misses for anyone here at the start of the map. Bancho miss early on for Ryuke, potentially again on that. Raikai with a miss-aim on a flow section. I think neither of those are Bancho, and I think there goes Pikapone as well. Just finds a miss-aim on another one of those tight corners in the bottom left. And Bubbleman, you know, in theory, seemed like a decent pick. Seemed like something that maybe Canada would have an okay time on. Canada, traditionally a very good team on this style of map. And yet Australia, halfway through, still have a 3-way full combo going into the 1/3 section.
There's the rhythm switch up, but it is just a load of aim. There's no flow in this, and what have you lost on mostly in this game already is the aim. It is the snap aim, but it catches Sayo and Zintex on the switch up. It's just Pala to hold. Pala on the hidden, the last third of the map. It's going to be real important. It's vital that this guy keeps the combo through these sliders, through these tech patterns. Dio Ryuke just broke. The lead is closing, but these guys have to hold.
It's another miss from Pikapone and from Raikai immediately afterwards, and as soon as the difficulty on the flow picks up once again, it's the double break from Canada, and Paler still holding the FC for Australia. And the score lead was coming back. It was coming back actually very quickly. It dropped from over 250k to under 150k before that double miss for Raikai and Pikapone. And yet immediately afterwards shot back up to 480,000 with that near FC from Paler, 890k on this map. is demonic, and you can see it by the scores in the rest of the lobby. Everybody else under that 500K mark, in fact, everyone, all 5 other players in between 450 and 500K. It's just Paler, the standout here. And Canada, if there had been a little bit more combo held for some people and Paler had dropped a little bit earlier, they could have had an opportunity on this. But it's once again them matching the quote-unquote normal scores for Australia, but Australia still having Faker on one member and just outclassing everyone else in the lobby with that one person. In finals, that is enough.
They have pick of the bunch now. They can go wherever they want to. They can go experimental. They can get their members some experience in the lobby without the fear of dropping vital points. They're timing out. Oh, goodness. What do they go for? If they're timing out at 6-0 up?
Yeah, I'm...
Okay.
Okay.
Well.
Even Canada is like, are we for real right now? 10-0 and you time out.
You know what? Valid. Because what time is it for Canada? 10 a.m. What time is it for Australia? I think it's nearly midnight, right? Or it's past midnight even.
I think 14 UTC, if you're on the east coast of Australia right now, I believe 14 UTC is actually 1 in the morning. So I believe it is 1:45 a.m. if you're on the east coast of Australia. If you are on the west coast of Australia, I believe that's UTC +8 for Perth. So those players would be at 10:49 p.m.
So I would say valid. You know what?
Yeah.
Gives us time to discuss the match so far. I mean, it's been an incredible performance from Australia. Canada, no slouches, but just completely outclassed by this roster.
No, I think when we do get end of the week statistics, Canada's scores will probably be somewhere on the middle to maybe low end, but certainly not bad scores by any means for Canada on a lot of these maps. It really has just been kind of what we saw in the last map, right? Paler putting up a near FC, and then on every other map so far, it's been Zintex as the standout player. And if you have the rest of your team, 2 out of 3 players, putting up decent middle-of-the-road scores, like it has been for most of these picks on Australia, matching the other team, that one standout player is always enough to win you the map, especially in the finals weekend. And Australia, as long as they can have that one player on each map, they are going to win all of these maps, and that's how they've gotten this far, 6-0 up.
Now to try and complete the sweep, 7-0. They're in the driver's seat. They just destroyed on Hidden. What have they got? No Mod 1, Hidden 1. It's Free Mod 1 is the pick. The recommended pick, I think, from Canada. Like, allowable. Valid, honestly. You got to tell me about this one, though. It's an Xarius map, and it's one I've never seen before.
Well, I mean, it's an Xarius map. It is Xarius alt in this case. A lot of very snappy back and forth aim control in this map. I like the rep there. For any context about the artist of this song, I do like the rep shout out there. And apparently quick restart on the tournament client, just as an FYI as to why the music stopped and why it wasn't showing all of the lights there. But yeah, this one is a lot of much more straightforward snap aim control at an alt BPM. It almost plays like a hard to read 280 BPM jump map rather than as an alt map.
Okay, so considering what we saw on No Mod 3
and DT1
and No Mod 4,
there may be some precedent here for Australia being better at high BPM jumps in the map pool.
Guys, there's a chance this monitor falls off the desk when I play this map. That'd be even worse than sneezing mid-map, right?
Probably, yeah. I mean, sneezing is like a couple of misses. Monitor falling off the desk is I need to put everything down and grab my monitor again and put it back. So like maybe 50 misses or more.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty rough. Let's hope that doesn't happen, just so that we can see exactly what would happen with both teams playing at their best on this map. Ryuke Non-Cycle and Raikai in for Canada. I like all three of those players on something like this. Xaver, Paler, and Zintex. I mean, this is just the three best players on this Australian 3-digit World Cup team, all on the same map now. These are the three players who have played the most maps for this squad all throughout. These are the players who have top scored the most maps for this squad all throughout the tournament. This is the scariest roster you can see if you're up against Australia in the 3-digit World Cup.
Xaver, this is only his second map in the lobby, but that's nothing when you say that there's only been 7 maps in the lobby so far, right? It's been a fair share of participation for every player now. Maybe exactly what I was saying, getting Xaver in for his second map. Spreading the workload, you know? But kicking it off. It is very similar in style to the Nomad 3. Maybe slightly less awkward, maybe slightly more straightforward. And maybe Canada finding the same issues.
Yeah, and that is... Oh, Paler actually does find the miss for Australia there on the hidden. So both hidden players now down. It's just the Hard Rock player difference. Zintex on the FC versus Ryuke on the 1 miss 98 accuracy. Nomad players matching each other on the full combos for both of these teams. So if that Hard Rock or Nomad goes down for Australia, there is a chance that these combos end up in the way of Canada. But, I mean, so far this match, that hasn't really happened. Or if it has happened, it's been a very short amount of time. And it looks like everybody is down for Canada now. We missed the miss for Non-Cycle. Xaver also finding a drop for Australia, but it is Zintex on the Hard Rock, still FCing a third of the way in.
Zintex, bro. Oh, hits the hexagon as well. This guy has just been on fire this entire match. Like, not only a single miss, and it wasn't even much of a miss. He still got 500k on the map. It was the hidden one. Hidden 2, sorry.
Yeah, it's just impressive. Oh, I mean, what do you do? He does finally find the break just after the hexagon there going into the second PI time. 1 break from Canada versus now 2 from Australia. Paler and Zintex down. It's just the Nomad for Xaver left. He's matching Non-Cycle, but there is combo advantage on Raikai now for Canada. And this hidden player has the opportunity to pull this back. There goes Xaver as well, and suddenly it's a 3-way delayed break for Australia. Paler finding more misses in this KI time as well, and Raikai and Non-Cycle both hit the exit hexagon as well. And that is now 1,000 combo advantage for Canada, only 100k up for Australia. This is going to come back if they can hold long enough.
I'm sat up in my seat and I'm leant forward. This all eyes on the left side of your screen. Canada with the 700 and the 500. It's recoveries for Australia. They're still in this if Canada falter. But that lead is shrinking. 40k, 30k with them is for Xaver.
It's down to just 20k now. It's coming, and it's coming quickly. And the 3-way miss! Just as it's about to swap over. Are you kidding me? We actually can't write it any worse than that.
And they get to see it. The state of the match is revealed to the players, and 480k on Zintex. Huge carry performance. Not the only player carrying in the lobby. Non-cycle with 400k too. 40k advantage. Slow movement to the right side because of these 400 combos, and Dio, I think that's all she wrote.
I can't disagree with you there. I think that is all she wrote for Canada. Unless we see collapse right now for Australia, it's just not enough time left in the map. And these combos are going to stay up for Australia instead. A couple of misses for Ryuke, a non-cycle to cap it off. This was, by all means, the closest map. It was that close to going back over to Canada, but they got one shot by one of the most difficult patterns in this map. Australia hit it, and Australia take it back just as defeat is about to reach them. They snatch the score back over to their side. The plot armor kicks in. The Zintex carry pants stay on as he sets 590k hard rock on this Fremod 1. And Australia move into the top 4 of the 3-digit World Cup 2026.
I'm still sat with the fact that Zintex top scored 6 out of 7 maps. That's really a crazy performance.
It really is. I mean, what the problem?
I mean, he top scored 6 out of 7.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It is a pretty legendary performance. The problem for Canada is not that their players are playing poorly. Ryuke, Pikapone, CL, Non-Cycle, all having, I think, a pretty solid match, just putting up good scores on all of these matches, or on all of these maps. The problem is that Zintex in particular, alongside Paler in that match, both performed extremely well. Zintex, as you said, top scoring 6 of those 7 maps. Paler top scoring the 1 other map. Both of them just having an incredible time with this map pool. And Australia, just better, playing extremely well in the finals pool, playing extremely well last week in semifinals to be the 2nd best team overall in the 3-digit World Cup last week. Looking to keep that momentum up from semifinals into the finals here after 7-0ing Canada and moving into the top 4. Congratulations to them. We are going to switch pretty quickly here over to another match. So some final thank yous and congratulations. Thank you to Canada for playing, and congratulations on top 6. Congrats to Australia on the 7-0, and good luck in their matchup for the top 4. Thank you to Bubbleman for casting this match alongside me. Thank you to Tay for streaming, to Hunter for reffing, and to you all for watching. We are going to switch very quickly over to the next match for the 3-digit World Cup 2026, which is the match that'll determine who Australia faces in the top 4 matchup, Chile versus South Korea in the losers bracket. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.